Hey everybody, it's Sunday, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, 2 days after the end of the world, and I am guessing we're still all here, so nothing to that, for sure. Bunch of hooey. Stuff going on. Where do I start? It's been a couple weeks since we've had a video. I haven't been out here at all. Haven't been doing anything. Got a little bit of I'm going to call it a funk thing going on, if you will. A couple weeks ago, and actually I think it was the night that I made the last video that I put up, going to the shop. We were worried about some flooding. On the way home, my little car just started screwing up. I mean, it had a heck of a time keeping it running. Starving for fuel. About got run down on the freeway. So got it off onto the side streets and said, "Nah, I can go a little bit and get it home." So I got it up here close. It took me a while and kept going back and forth, and on the side of the street, and it run a little bit and quit. And so I got down. There's a shopping center not too far down the road from here, and I got it there, and I pulled it in the parking lot, and I'd had it. And I just said, "Okay, that's it. I'm done." I got into the parking lot, shut it off, grabbed my backpack, and I walked home. Left it there. So, with that whole thing, and then I got home, and the girlfriend's car, an older Plymouth, had thrown the belts off the front of it, so that was broke down. And this was after working, about 10 and a half hours that day, and something just snapped, guys. I just said, you know what? Enough is enough. I've had it. We're working extremely long hours at the shop, which given the economic conditions of the world today, I think that's a blessing. We're very fortunate, and you know what? All the hours and overtime that they want to work, I'm down with that. Let's do it. Let's do what we need to do. But at the end of the day, and you guys know, I'm tired. Work a long day, and I come home at night, and I really don't want to do much of anything. And when I do want to do something, I enjoy coming out here in the garage, and I enjoy working on, my projects and stuff like that. I find that relaxing. But I really don't like to be fixing stuff because I absolutely have to get it, so I can drive it, to work tomorrow, something like that. I don't like that at all. So like I say, something has kind of snapped, and I'm just done with driving these old cars every day and relying on them to go back and forth to work and using them for drivers. It used to be I had a fairly new vehicle, and all the rest of the stuff that I did, I just basically considered as hobby stuff, and I didn't really worry about it. Fooled around with it, and if it didn't get done today, and maybe it get done tomorrow or next week, who cares? But I've kind of gotten away from that, and I've gotten a lot of these little cars, and I've kind of started relying on them and so forth. So anyways, no more. I'm not doing it anymore. So what I've done is the other thing, we got taken kind of an inventory of the stuff that we had around here, vehicle-wise. Had a lot of stuff. So we're kind of thinning the herd significantly, if you will. In the last week, the red Subaru hatchback, I've sold that. That is gone. I don't know if it was ever on any of the videos or not, but I had a 1990 Legacy, a white sedan that was out behind the house. That is sold and gone as well. I'm probably going to be cutting my 77 F-150 loose. That's just sitting around, and you know what? I don't see anytime soon I'm going to be doing anything with that. And you know, those are pretty plentiful, and if I decide I want another one, I shouldn't have a hard time finding one. So I'm probably going to cut that one loose and sell that. I got the little race car, got the black Volkswagen GTI. Those two probably, you know, I'll hang on to them because they're kind of fun to tinker with. I like the Volkswagen and, you know, whatnot. So anyways, we're cutting back, getting rid of the stuff that we don't need. But I have acquired a new daily driver that I purchased, and I'll show you that here in a second. And you know, I gotta tell you, new cars today, they're expensive and they're a lot of money, but with my life, I mean, it just makes sense that if I can have something that, you know, I can go out in the morning, get in it, drive it to work, and all I ever do to that is, you know, change the oil and rotate the tires, I'm good with that. So we picked up a new driver, and so I'll show you that in a second. Our 95 Silverado, the Z71 pickup, I think I'm going to keep that. It's a four-wheel drive truck. You know, it runs pretty decent. It's got a lot of miles on it, but you know, for the most part, it's really dependable. I haven't done much of anything to it. So, you know, for the 20 some odd dollars a month it costs to insure it, you know, I'll keep that. I'll keep it around. Our white Subaru, the hatchback, I went down later that night and I got it going and enough, and I mean, I got it home, and I was just disgusted with that, and so I just kind of set that off to the side. I do have it in the garage now, and because basically on that, and this is something, you know what, guys, I could probably mess around with it a little bit, and I could pedal it as is and get rid of it and be done with it, but that's not the way we roll here. And you know, and this is something, you guys do what you want to do, but this is the way that I do it, is, you know, it's all part do the right thing. You hear do the right thing, you know, from different people, but you got to do the right thing. And like this little car, whether I sell it to somebody or whether I keep it, it's going to have to be fixed. I'm going to have to repair the problem in that, because you know, I can't trust it to use as is, and I just don't do that to people. You know, these cars, these Subaru four-wheel drives are the cheaper ones. A lot of times, you know, mom and dad will buy it for a kid or something like that, and I tell you, when this thing crapped out on the freeway, I mean, I damn near got ran down. You know, there's heavy traffic, cars all around trying to get the little car to the side of the road, and you know what? I wouldn't want to put anybody in that position. So just keep that in mind, you know, as we mess with all these old cars and do the things that we do and buy and sell and flip and all that. At the end of the day, you know, it's nice to do these and, you know, make a few bucks and have a good time, stuff like that. But just remember, do the right thing. Do something that, you know what, when you go to sleep at night, your conscience is clear. Don't ever intentionally pass off a problem onto somebody else. You just don't do that. That's not cool. So that's my little soapbox for the day. So I hope everybody, you know, is all Reverend, yes. Okay, so anyways, moving on. Let's take a look at the new ride. And I'll show you that and some other stuff here. Okay, so what we have got here, and it looks huge here in the garage. Okay, we have picked up a 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sport. It's a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. It's 285 horsepower output. Goes really, really well. I did get an automatic transmission. You did have the choice between an automatic and a 6-speed. I chose the automatic because, to be perfectly honest with you, 90% of all driving that I do in any of these cars is around town. And I don't know, city traffic with a standard transmission gets old. So we did get the automatic. We got a hard top. I'm not much of one for soft top vehicles. And I mean, this top does come off and we can do, you know, the other thing. But to be honest with you, the top will more than likely never come off this vehicle. So they're pretty cool. It's very comfortable. The seats are really nice. I can't say enough about that. It is very comfortable to drive. We did look at a number of vehicles before we bought this. This was kind of like in the front of my mind from the beginning, but we did kind of go into it open-minded and looked at a lot of different stuff. For instance, the Toyota, the FJ Cruiser, Toyota Tacoma. I looked at new Subarus, Ford pickups, and this one here, I mean, is the one that just talked to me. So this is the one that we had to have. I've had several Jeeps in the past. I've always wanted a Wrangler, and I have never gotten one for the simple reason it's always been, well, you know, they're not big enough, you know, there's not room for the kids, la 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 la. And now we just don't have that those concerns anymore. It's pretty much just myself and my girlfriend, so don't really care if there's room. So it's kind of perfect. So anyways, that's what we're using for a driver. This is our everyday deal. I don't know. We may do a few things to it. One thing that I've already done is when I got it, it didn't have these running boards on it. I did get those from Chrysler, and there's the Mopar part. Put those on. Kind of finishes off. They don't quite look right without them. Kind of finishes it off, and we've got that. And you know, we'll probably, I don't know, maybe we'll do a light bar and some lights up here in the front, something like that. But you know, it's all just appearance stuff. I'm not a four-wheeler. I don't go in the woods and trash stuff for the most part. And when I do, I wouldn't do it with a brand new vehicle anyways. I would do it with that. So that's that. So winter also has arrived here in the Sierra. We got some snow yesterday. It's a little bit warmer today. It's about 45, 48 degrees. So we get the shovel, which is always fun. I try to get my shoveling done early, so then if the sun does come out, it melts the rest of it off. But we do have some snow to contend with. So it's kind of interesting because this is more snow that we got actually yesterday than we had all last year. So, and there's more coming. As you can see, it's pretty gray off to the west, and they're forecasting snow through Christmas. So I'm sure we'll get some more. But in the meantime, we have this little gem right here. And basically what we got here is it will occasionally, and I say occasionally, it just starves for fuel, cuts out. You let it set for a few minutes, it'll start back up. You can go a little ways and kind of repeats itself. Then it'll go away. The last time it kind of did something like this, I fiddled with it a little bit, and I've driven this thing over 600 miles since then without incident, and then it just went to pieces again. So here's what we've got in the fuel system of this car. There's an electric pump underneath. And by the way, the car runs absolutely perfect. The car runs really, really nice. It just runs out of gas. So in looking at the fuel system circuit on here, the fuel pump is new. We replaced that when we first got it going. Of course, there's 2 fuel filters in the car. There's one under the hood, and there's one in the back under the car. Those are both new. The one actually under the car has been changed twice. And the fuel pump is kind of an interesting little system, the way that it operates. What it does is when you turn your key to the cranking position, it'll energize the fuel pump and it will pump fuel as the engine is cranking. When you let off of the key and stop cranking when the engine starts, the coil, there's a signal that goes from the coil to a revolution sensor up under the dash, and that revolution sensor then takes over and supplies voltage to the fuel pump. Basically why they do that is if the engine's not running or trying to start, the fuel pump will not run. And I thought for a bit there kind of what it was acting like, because if it would run out of fuel, die, quit, shut off, and it would crank right back up. And it's almost like, maybe that little rev sensor was not doing its job. The car was, the fuel pump was being supplied voltage in a crank position, but not in the run position. So the one thing I've done with that is I have bypassed that sensor and direct wired the pump to the ignition. So, anytime the ignition switch is on, the pump is running. And it still does the same thing. That didn't solve a thing. So nothing in that circuit there to worry about. This car, like we've talked about before, did sit for a long period of time before I got it. So I'm thinking the next logical thing to do with this guy is I'm going to get up underneath it. I'm going to pull the fuel tank out of it and see what we've got in there. It's kind of the next thing I'm suspecting is there's gunk and garbage floating around inside the fuel tank that is getting sucked up into the pickup, and then kind of gets released from it and floats back around and then gets sucked back up again at a different time. I mean, I don't know, it's an intermittent thing and it's kind of weird, but that's the only thing that so far at this point makes sense. There's something in there that's blocking it off. The carburetor is good and clean, as you saw in here. We've gone through that, and it works flawlessly. I mean, like I say, the car runs really, really nice as long as it has fuel supplied to it. So I could probably jury rig something else, but I don't do that. I want it to work as it's supposed to. That's why I've got the rev sensor hooked back up, everything as is, and we'll go into the tank next, and we'll see what we've got. And I'm kind of suspecting there's a lot of crap in there, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. When I get it down out, I'll show you guys what's in there, and we'll go from there. The other thing that I have run into a couple of times on this is there's a pipe, and I'm quite sure it was this model. I mean, memory is a hard thing as it goes away. There's a pipe inside the fuel tank that goes down for a pickup, and I have run across it before where those pipes will be yeah, we got some of this stuff out too, guys, where those pipes will actually rust off, not necessarily rust off, but what it is, if your pipe is this long, you'll get a hole rusted through up here. So as long as the tank is full of fuel, car will run fine. As the fuel level drops down and that rust hole gets out, basically the pump will start sucking air and not fuel. So this is all stuff that's possibility. Like I say, the car had just been sitting for a couple weeks because I was pretty disgusted with it. It's like, what? I've had it with this. But, like I say, I mean, if we keep it, if we sell it, it's got to be fixed. So we got to figure it out. And it's a challenge, so that's cool. It's a very simple fuel system, though, so there's not really an awful lot of variables in there. The only other thing other than the tank that we've got that hasn't really been looked at good is the actual fuel lines themselves. And you know, it's possible we've got deterioration of one of the metal lines. These Asian fuel lines, though, are pretty high quality, and if you usually get looking at them years and years down the road, they look like brand new inside. You don't get an awful lot of deterioration inside the fuel lines themselves. So that's where we're at. And the other thing I was going to do is I was going to do a little bit of a mail call, and of course I forgot to bring my stuff out. So on our next video, I'm going to put mail to that, and because I do want to make mention of that. I really appreciate it when you guys do send me stuff in the mail, and I enjoy it. And on that fact as well, I'm kind of behind from 2 or 3 of you guys on stickers. We've got a bunch of stickers here. I just have to get my lazy ass to the post office and send them out to you. So it's on my mind. I will get it. I will get them to you. I appreciate, you know, your patience and your continuing support. So that's what we're up to. Basically, you know, we've got this Jeep as a driver now, so the rest of this stuff is totally going to go to hobby stuff as far as I'm concerned. And like I say, right now I just have no ambition to work on anything. So I'm kind of forcing myself out here on days off to mess around with stuff and kind of get stuff going. So I don't know what I'm going to be working on. I don't know. I think I'm just going to be working on whatever at the moment, you know, makes me happy, and hopefully we'll do some videos, and hopefully it's interesting enough for you guys to continue to watch. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate all your comments. The other thing is, I kind of showed here a little bit. We got, you know, some of our stuff out here. I was going to get a couple of my radio controls out and get those going, and I actually had one of my gas trucks I wanted to actually get out and play in the snow, but you know, having not used it for a couple of years, it's not quite that easy. So we'll be tinkering around with that a little bit too. That's kind of fun stuff. But so that is where we're at, and like I say, today's Sunday. I'm off tomorrow, Monday, and off Christmas Day as well, with no big plans. So I'm kind of hoping, I have my little heater out here, and I'm kind of hoping that, you know, the weather, like I say, today is not too awful bad out. Hoping that the weather kind of, temperature-wise anyways, kind of cooperates with me, and maybe we'll get some stuff done. We'll get the tank out of that Subaru and see what we can see, and go from there. So until then, tonight being Sunday, once again, mumble, mumble, mumble. You guys get on the mumble. Pretty cool stuff, and pretty good guys on there. And, you know, it's a good place to get in and chat, and you know what? You make some friends, and that's cool. The friends are cool. You guys know who you are, and I'll be talking with you tonight, for sure. And we'll solve all the world's problems then. So until the next time on video, you know, I said it before, Milo says it, you know, and he's right. As we talked about before, you guys, especially in this holiday season, do the right thing. You know, do to others as you're kind of hoping to receive yourself. And with that, I'm going to go away and stop preaching. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the mumble tonight. And maybe we'll be back with another video if we get ambitious enough to actually get something apart on this thing today. So until then, take it easy.